Yeah, we started Mobilee Records in 2005. Anja Schneider actually asked me if I can help her setting up the label. We started doing some parties around that time in Berlin, and we clicked quite well together and as a team organizing things. So yeah, we started this label. It was just in the beginning a side project actually, So Anja was and still is a radio host, and she got so many demos sent to her address, and then she was always wondering what to do with all this music from new talents, mainly here from the region, of course, and Berlin. And so yeah, we talked to a distributor, Word and Sound, at that time, and then we set up Mobilee Records. And we were very lucky at that time. There was like the so-called minimal hype. Berlin was on the radar worldwide for the specific sound, and we were kind of like riding this wave a little bit in the beginning, and within half a year, yeah, we got a lot of attention with our releases. We started with the third release, Rancho Relaxo, from Anja Schneider and Ziboke. That helped us to get global attention actually, and that was very, very successful, and that was a booster for us to move on, and yeah, I think like after a short time we realized, okay, that's a little bit more than a hobby, and then we more or less quit our jobs and just focused on Mobilee Records and tried to establish it as a yeah, as a music brand. We started to work with like-minded artists, like friends actually, like from our own network, and this helped to yeah, to become this collective. It was not only, we were not only releasing music, we were also doing our own events. Not only in Berlin, then also in Barcelona and other countries all around the world, and so that was the beginning. First of all, it's curiosity. You always need to be open for new technologies, and maybe always try to be a step ahead of others. Yeah. And I always embraced new formats, new technologies, always tried out a lot, and always wanted to experiment with new opportunities that arose around us connected to music. And I think that's one of the reasons why we are still here. Because we also take a lot of risks. We took a lot of risks. We always tried out new things, and also maybe we were not too sentimental about old stuff, doing it the old way, because you can't really stop or slow down technological evolution. Yeah, so. And I don't know, I was always realistic about that, and I think that's one of the reasons. And then you also need to take your artists with you on this journey, and it's also, I see it as part of my job or my obligation also to update my artists, my network. With all these things, what's going on out there, and from time to time I need to give them a new perspective on their creation, on their art, and for example, like the discussions I have at the moment with our artists is about track length, for example. Yeah? DJ friendly intros and outros. Nobody needs that anymore. Yeah, so DJs are performing with CDJs. It just needs 5 seconds, and you have your BPM adjusted if you're not using the sync button. And like a 1.5 minute intro and 1.5 minute outro, DJ friendly, like just the kick, is obsolete. You don't really need that anymore. And this makes a track also more streaming friendly again, for I don't know, that's one thing. We also decide together with our artists to do radio edits. No, we call it radio edits, but actually it's a streaming edit, which is just shorter, because the same rules that we know from radio from back in the days are now also kicking in on streaming platforms, and it's about the algorithm and stuff. So just one example of how we adapt to a new reality all the time. There's actually another project that we also worked on. We produced Dolby Atmos, or we experimented with the Dolby Atmos format. Like Rodriguez Jr.'s album Bliss was re-released in Dolby Atmos end of last year, and since then, since we made our first experience with this format, and how to mix it, and all the also new possibilities that are coming with it, we decided to extend our Dolby Atmos catalog. We now have like 5, 6, 7 releases, EPs as well. That's another example of something that we embraced from the beginning on. We wanted to know how it works and how we can utilize this for us, for our artists. And when we started exploring this, Dolby Atmos was only available through Tidal and Amazon HD, with some special subscriptions, lossless and so on. And in a way, we also took the right decision. We were betting on the right horse, because a month ago or 6 weeks ago, Apple announced to support Dolby Atmos as well. And we were just one of the few electronic music labels with a Dolby Atmos catalog. And of course, we were like on the front end of all this Dolby Atmos promotion. Very happy about that as well. When we started Mobilee, within a few years we developed to a 360-degree music entertainment company, let's say. The label was, let's say, the main project, releasing music around that. But then we also started our own booking agency, and taking care of our artists, doing our own showcases, and somehow managed the artists we were working closely with. And that all made sense for a long time, because we had the booking agency, generating some revenue. We had the label, we had our own events, and this worked out really well for a long time. But then at one point, also when electronic music or dance music became so big and successful, actually like some in a way mainstream all around the world, and there was a lot of money involved suddenly, there were very professional booking agencies, very professional PR agencies, very professional management companies, and so on. So everything that we tried to keep in-house, it was difficult to compete with this professional, huge market leaders, let's say. So the 360-degree model worked for a very long time. When we went through this transformation, let's say old music industry standards didn't work anymore, everything collapsed in a way. So having 100% control about your creative work and all revenue sources was very important for a long time. But then at one point we also realized, okay, things changed again, and it's better to outsource things. So then also at one point, so I brought in a lot of management capacity for free, and that worked out well. Until also music revenues were dropping a little bit, and a few other things didn't work out as they should be, and so then I had to to divide this and to do different section companies. And that's what happened like 3 years ago, actually. When we also got rid of the booking agency stuff. That was like a lot of resources, a lot of like brain sauce went into that. But yeah, it wasn't really efficient anymore at one point. So we just focused on the music, back to the roots, label, and then I started my management company, where I had the freedom then also to take care of other artists and brought in all the expertise without having any conflicts. Because that's the problem. You can't run a booking agency, a label, and a management company all at once. It's better if you separate that. And because the artists I'm taking care of in the management company, they need individual solutions. So maybe this booking agency is the best for this artist and for that artist and so on, and this PR works perfectly for this genre and so on. So every artist needs and deserves a customized solution, and then also like a neutral view on that. I think the most important is to, if you are convinced by something or you have a feeling for something, like go for it. Don't look too much to the left and to the right, so what others are doing. There was a time and there was a lot of competition, and there were like a lot of labels doing similar stuff, and I know there was also like then when we were on this like verge from underground maybe to like some kind of like, I don't know, had some more popularity, I don't know, or success, and especially in Berlin it was always difficult, like if you're too successful and you're not cool enough anymore and all that stuff. And I don't know, these are like being underground and being cool and all that stuff, that doesn't really matter, it doesn't really count, especially on the long term. You really need to go your way, what you believe in, what you think makes sense for you, and don't worry too much what others think about you. So yeah, I think that was like it's probably the biggest learning. I'm pretty relaxed and self-confident with everything I'm doing right now, so it's easy to say, and it took me 15 years to get there. But yeah, I think that's it. It's a gut feeling right now, and there's so much coming together. It's and it's also something that I realize more and more after 15 years. So I went through more than 250 releases. That means 250 production processes with the artist, from the pre-master or to the final mixing, pre-master, mastering process, releasing it, and then it's like understanding and seeing how it works, how people connect to it, react to it, from the distribution level to the dance floor and so on. There's so much coming together that maybe teaches you like what works, what doesn't work, and there are so many parameters that I'm also that I'm checking, from the production, from the arrangement, from how does it sound, do the sounds fit together, like the creative approach, is it something new, innovative, is there like an own sound signature, is it just a copycat, blah 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 blah. There's so much that maybe I can write it all down, but at the end it's a feeling that I have these days, and it's a rare situation, unfortunately, that I really feel like, okay, whoa, like especially if I hear music from an unknown talent or new talent, but it happens, and that also motivates me to keep on like digging through demos, and listening to music that I got sent to. I must admit, it's also sometimes a lucky coincidence, because like I need to be in the mood, it needs to be the right moment, and sometimes I just like also like deleting stuff, or it's, you know, like removing it from my inbox, yeah. But sometimes I think, okay, I need to listen to some new stuff right now, and that's it how it works. And even so even if I listen to a demo as an A&R, I think it's the same with every A&R around the world. It also depends on your actual mood. Yeah? Do I listen to it in the morning or in the night? Did I have a glass of red wine before? Or I don't know. There's so many factors that are playing a role, and I think it's important for talents or for new artists or for artists in general to consider that. You know, so if you get a bad feedback, if you get no feedback, that doesn't mean that your music is bad. Most of the time, it's like that. Probably, but yeah, I can't. There's so much music. It's very difficult to pick something out. But if we look back in the beginning of Mobilee, which was like probably defining the sound signature. Mainly it was the third release, Rancho Relaxo from Kane, Anja, Schneider. Then there was Panpot, Captain My Captain, that also made some big impact. And in the last 2-3 years, I really like what Memo did, a Spanish artist that was actually, in a way, new, unknown, and I picked him up, and we have like 2-3 releases out now, and his profile is growing, it all works out. Gulen, another artist from Spain with a very, very unique and own sound, and I can't explain it, but with this one release, and he doesn't really have a huge artist profile, but this one track had like more than 2 million Spotify views, now you say also listens, yeah? And incredible, yeah. So this all works, and it doesn't really matter if you are touring all around the world, or if you have like 50,000 Instagram followers and 100,000 Facebook followers. The music matters at the end, and I was so for a long time I was also worried about like streaming, Spotify, algorithms, but now I actually feel that this works in our favor. We have a new release from Rodriguez Jr. coming out on September 10. It's called Kilian, and there's a second track, collaboration track with Lisetta Lea on it, called Au revoir Paris. They actually moved to Miami a few weeks ago, so relocated, like the whole family actually. It's new life, and yeah, this is actually like the closure, the closure, musically the closure of this chapter in their lives. And then we have an album coming up in October from Squire. It's his debut album on Mobilee. Also a Spanish artist based in Barcelona. A former Formula 1 racer. It's a very interesting character. It's great to work with them. He has his very own approach with this background and the discipline. He takes it in a very sporty way, like working with music or on music. It's great to see. And what else? Then we have a few really interesting EPs and singles coming up. I'm always, and I'm very happy and proud of it, I'm always mixing the established artists and new talents, and I think I found a really, really good balance in that. So to always try out new things, new music, and new artists on the label.